Again, I would like to give some very good credit to the Honorable Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Ojo. When he came on board, one of the things he did was he took several visits to the National Fire Academy. The National Fire Academy is located in Sheda, here in Abuja. And his vision is to transform that academy to not just train regular firefighters, but to train marshals and wardens, and also security, the civil security group. The essence is that so that in a very big building, we have what we call the on-ground respondents. So if fire should happen in a commercial hub or in a public space, the civil security that you see every day should be able to know one or two things to do before the professional firemen, come to that place. So that is one initiative that is ongoing, and that is helping us to train wardens and marshals and civil security so that we can have on-ground respondents. And it's a very, very integral part, because you talk about response time in Nigeria, we don't have enough fire stations, we don't have enough equipment. The government is doing so much at the federal level, but we are still not where we ought to be, especially if you want to juxtapose it with other, global competitiveness. I'll give you an example. In Nigeria today, both at the federal and all the states' fire services, we still have less than 30,000 workforce. Juxtapose it with a population of over 200 million.
Yes.
We're nowhere, So firemen, like my colleague have said, are not adequate. We don't have enough manpower. We need more and more manpower. And so the minister came up with an idea, okay, if government alone cannot employ everybody, we should now look for initiatives to get other people at least to provide stopgap services before you come. Having said that, I must also say, and thankfully Mr. Zach is here, very senior man as far as firefighting is concerned. A lot of Nigerians are not also aware that firefighting is on the concurrent list. So there's the federal fire service, there's the state fire service, the local government fire services, there are even private fire stations. And we all...
In Nigeria?
In Nigeria. And we all seemingly have equal roles and responsibility. So let's take FCT, for example, where the Federal Fire Service has its headquarters. We have this FCT fire service. When you want to build anything in FCT, you go to the Abuja Metropolitan Management Council that houses the development control. The development control are the one who give you approval to go ahead and build. So I want to believe that quite a number of times, what we have at the Federal Fire Service, we have what we call the plans and examinations. We have architects, civil engineer, electrical engineers, and their roles and responsibility are actually supposed to liaise with getting approval in principle, first stage approval, when you want to build, start up a building and all of that, especially installations, of fire gadgets, first aid firefighting, hydrants, exitway and all of that. But sincerely and frankly so, we have this challenge because we don't get that cooperation from either the development control or the state, what do you call them? At the state level, they call them is it the building plan? I'm trying to remember what they call them at the state level. They are at the state level, they are responsible for approving building plans. Okay, at the state level. In FCT, because of the special nomenclature of FCT, it's called development control. But if you go to Kogi State, they have the state town planning. You get what I'm saying? Yes. So there's Federal Fire Service in Kogi, there's Federal Fire Service in Plateau. So if Federal Fire Service says, okay, you want to build this large building, what are you doing about this? What are you doing about this? The next thing they do is that they abandon us and run to the state town planners.
To their peril.
Who give them the approval to go ahead and build. You get what I'm saying? And because, like I said earlier, our 1963 Act is challenged, our powers are curtailed. I'll give you a case in hand. In Oyo State, this company came up with a very massive building. And then the young men from the service, led by the state controller, went and said, this thing you want to build, you need this, you need this, you need this, you need this. They gave him frank advice as to, the sustainability of his building. He said, okay, no problem, you can come back, and all that. You know what he did? He went to the local government fire service in that local government and got an approval in principle. The essence is that he doesn't want to comply with, permit me, and with due respect, if the federal government were to do something, and the state government were to do something, and the local government were to do something, the standards in this part of the globe are far apart. They're quite higher. So because he did not want to comply with this level of standard, he quickly ran to the local government fire service and got an approval in principle to continue with his building.
And what were you supposed to do about that?
We're on the concurrent list. The same powers that we have, they have. But you see, but the only thing we can do is to begin to now use some kind of moral persuasions. If this building were to go up in flames tomorrow, we are not going to lose money. You are the one that is going to lose money.
And lives.
And lives. And so we try to use moral persuasion, not the instrumentality of the law, as the case may be. Okay, but as to whether we have such a department that is functional, that is not in doubt. But whether we get compliance and cooperation and collaboration, that's where we have the challenge. So very few, so to say, that are keen. And I like what our insurance friend said. Sometimes the only reason people comply with this thing, especially when you don't have the full instrumentality of the law to, at the fire service, for example, let me also say this. Fire service in Nigeria, we don't carry arms. They only respect that the Nigerian, they only respect the Nigerian populace, a large number of them have, for any form of enforcement, is that you have capacity to say, my friend, move or I move you. And so,
which you don't have.
Which we don't have, And so, that in itself, it's a huge conversation, but not for today. So it is only when maybe international organizations come and begin to insist on certain standards, you see them running to us. Or when they are MDAs, the Nigerian Railways, NNPCs, the very strong federal government MDAs, they'll come to the Federal Fire Service because they know that if we give you a clean bill of right, you know that everything is okay. So at that level, they'll come to us. But I want to tell you, the everyday people, everyday market, like you and I, oh no, they don't even want to see Federal Fire Service. They believe our standards are too high. They believe we're asking for too much, but there's nothing that is too much to ask when it gets to safety.